Welcome to iSpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality, every time. Bring your vision to life in our photoshoot studio. With natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear, stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
Whew. Have you been waiting? Everyone is here. Everyone is here. Call your friends. We are here. Restoration is on the making. My name is Dr. Lucida. We are doing a special edition on behalf of author MANOUCHKA LOMINY. She has, everyone know by now, she has a book out that's called Restoration. And we gather some lovely, wonderful, phenomenal, smart. There was more women to come. Unfortunately, they were not here. But we are planning another one, again, maybe a part 2, depending on how exciting this session is. Now we're here to talk about restoration. We're here to talk about MANOUCHKA. We're here to talk about a lot of other subjects that's going on. And before we get started, I want to say thank you to Dr. MANOUCHKA for agreeing to do this podcast with us to talk about her book.
I should say thank you for extending this invitation.
And thank you to the one and only Madame Mirland Brinal. Welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation and for putting this together. I was telling my sisters, I said, I love the lady.
Oh, I don't need
I love
love.
what
We
you're
need
doing.
support. That's why restoration. When I look at the book, I was like, that's what we need. We need community support. We need love. We need interaction. We need to be there for one another. And I have the one and only next to me, Anne Christie. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here at iSpace again. iSpace 2
Yes.
again. It's been a long time that I haven't been here. But then also I'm really happy to be here with MANOUCHKA to really talk about this piece of work. And I'm really excited and curious for us to dig deep and then for us to release. Because I think if anybody knows MANOUCHKA, or maybe you've had a chance to have conversations with her, she always is so insightful. So I cannot wait to see what she has in the book to share with us. And then, so I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And we don't want to leave the other ladies. We want to give them a shout out because they are behind the scene. We have Bertos Cannon. She's the chef. We have some beautiful culinary food waiting for us after this session. We want to say thank you to Chef Bertos. And we also have Yolanda. Yolanda is here with us, Yolanda Coulange. She is in the back. She's watching us. She will be coming on later. We have a lot of women here. We have Madeleine Antoine. She is the tech person, the welcoming committee for this event. She's here as well with us. And we have Farnèse Labadie. We have Erline Valliere. If I'm missing anyone else, I know there's a Millie. Dr. Gracie, we're not going to forget Dr. Gracie. Dr. Gracie is here with us, and we have Madame Millet as well. She could not make it, but she's one of the ladies that needed to be here. And we have our tech, Mr. Kimani Wanguhu. He just came back from vacation, and I put him to work. So we're going to see.
I feel like you just came back from vacation. He's always back from some cool and fresh. I'm like, oh, that's good.
He's living his dream today because, it's nothing but women in the studio. We're going to talk about building, growing, and and promoting positivity. And I believe when I read part of this book, that's what I saw in that book. It exude positivity. Am I right, Manouchka?
Well, I think the book exudes more like some transparency and some accountability and some unmasking and to be authentic. And some work that you want to do, you have to be authentic and being able to be transparent and to be able to live a life where if you said you're a Christian and you're going to be led by God step by step, and if He inspires you to do something through searching what you did wrong, which is accountability. And a lot of times we don't hold ourselves accountable enough. So it was that time of unmasking. Then I was inspired to write this book.
Well, I'm going to set some, not ground rules per se. This is just really to talk to Manouchka. We have Anne here. She's going to be the narrator. I'm going to just talk about a little bit of what I've learned from part of the book, and Milan is going to talk. So it's just going to be a conversation. So I'm going to pass the mic back to Anne as the narrator of this evening. And again, thank you to all of the ladies that agreed to be here this evening.
Well, thank you for having me.
Anne,
Thank you for inviting me.
it's yours.
Wonderful. So I guess, if we're looking, we're all sitting here. Some of us, we know MANOUCHKA, some of us don't. And you see a book called Talking About Restoration. So who are you? Who is MANOUCHKA in the context of restoration? Why would somebody like MANOUCHKA write a book like that?
So first I would say, why not MANOUCHKA? Because MANOUCHKA is was born in Haiti, western city called Gagouave. And at the age of 2, my father passed away from a tragic car accident. He was only 33 years old. And due to that, there was a shift of dynamic in my own family. So I was set to live with my great aunt, who has been very instrumental in my life. So, who is MANOUCHKA? MANOUCHKA is a Haitian woman, migrated to America at the age of 13, was extremely driven to leave a mark as a professional woman, immigrant. Graduated at the age of 17 and pursue a career in health. By 22, graduated nursing. Relocated to Florida first, then got married, 3 kids, 2 stepsons, 5 boys, raised 3 kids, and my older stepson have a very close relationship with my stepson, Printon, and continue a career in nursing, believe in Black excellence, believe in family, connection, God first, and believe that you can reach everything despite challenges in life.
Well, you sound like you have a really rich story, and it seems like it's through that story that we're going to hear about the work of restoration and what
True.
it means for you.
Yes.
So I guess maybe I can ask a question to the panel, right? When we think about restoration, what do you think about? What do you think about when
Something
you think about...
broken and we want to repair.
Okay.
And
What
myself,
about
I
you, Mila?
remember when I first moved here, I used to watch MANOUCHKA, and I told her that. I used to watch MANOUCHKA through Facebook, and already, I know I said I was going to speak Creole. I'm always
You're
like
just
that.
flowing.
Oui, moi, je voulais parler créole pour me représenter corps haïtien, nous connaît qui besoin de ça, qui besoin something like this, however, qui ne doit pas comprendre ça n'a dit. So, m'a essayé entre deux anglais créole pour nous-mêmes, pour nous capables de comprendre, parce que moi, connais restauration. À partir de ça, moi-même, moi comprendre et ça, expérience moi fait à Manouchka through Facebook and personal conversations. Definitely that's something we Haitians, especially Haitian women, that's something no besoin. So m'a say mettez pour nous-mêmes too. But let me say that when I first moved here and I used to watch on I used to watch her on Facebook and she will come over with true inspirational posts or lives. And I said, oh my God, that lady is so connected to moi-même. Moi, senti me connected. And at one point, I've met her. I think that was, I don't remember
Last
the place.
year, December.
That was last year?
Ice Space.
And I said, oh my God, that's the lady. Let me go ahead and
Ice
just say
Space,
hi.
lady.
And I went there and started talking to her. And to tell you the truth, moi pense même lorsque moi pas bonne chance pour me livre là, moi dit déjà, moi buy thumbs up. Why? C'est parce que li authentique. Manouchka son moun authentique, and whatever she's gonna tell you is gonna be through experience part, and we know that we need it. So I don't wanna say much since I'm gonna still be here. I'll leave the rest for later.
Okay, great. That's good. So I think that we are able to connect with the word of restoration through our own experiences personally and also with our relationships with Manouchka. But definitely Manouchka went deeper into this book and shared some things that a lot of us don't know about her. Sure. And this is, I would say this is the first time, right? The first day that you are sharing some of the book.
Well, I had an interview sometime in September, and I shared some of it on a one-on-one, not through a panelist.
Okay.
Yes, so
But
that's
not
a
at
different.
iSpace. So
No, not at
It's
iSpace.
iSpace now, which is different. Special.
Okay. So what I wanted to do is for the people who are listening, who are curious, want to know what the book is about, to see if they want to purchase it or if they want to get it for a friend or a family member, we're going to go through each chapter and we're going to
Sure.
kind of think about, just kind of talk about it a little bit so people have a sense of the journey, because I just love the way the chapters are even laid out, so you can tell that there's a journey. And I can say it for people if you don't mind. So we first start with a prologue, then we go with acknowledgments. Then chapter 1, automatically it says growing in sight of self. And I'm like, whoa,
That's strong.
that's like, look at yourself,
Yes.
right? Then the precursors to restoration. So acknowledging the space before that, right? Acknowledging the space before we start the restoration. Which, by the way, I think the book is telling us that restoration is a process,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Chapter 3, feeling broken. This is something that everybody can relate to. Then Manouchka goes to the unspoken trauma. So this is like a deeper layer of feeling broken. You can be feeling broken, but then you have some unspoken trauma that's like eating you up from inside. Guess that's what I'm just making it up.
right.
Like this is me looking at the
No, I
chapters
said I
and
don't want
making,
to cut her off, but that's something I want to take note, the unspoken trauma.
Yeah.
And most likely.
So that resonates with you?
Yes, not only me, it's in general, because a lot of people, on ton paquet haïtien spécialement, nous dit c'est personnalité, c'est comme ça, c'est ça que fait comme ça. But when you get closer to these people, you realize tellement layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. And once you get to know them, you say, non, c'est pas eux qui font ça.
Yeah,
C'est d'autres traumas.
c'est
And those
trauma.
traumas, ils pas jamais parler, ils pas jamais,
C'est ça,
ils
c'est
pas
ça.
jamais sorti. Même ils pas connaît. So
Yeah.
definitely that's a chapter I'm looking forward to. And that's what I said, even though I'm poko li livre là, moi
C'est bon
connais
chapter,
que what happened?
That's our favorite chapter.
she's been telling
I'm like,
True. This is something we all can relate to. Why? It's because it's life.
Yeah,
Life itself.
yeah.
Depuis l'heure où on est dans votre maman, ça va passer through DNA. Maman pour, sa maman pour, papa pour, te prend. Yo passe là au through DNA.
Yeah, that's
Et
even
puis-
unspoken. Yeah,
yes.
for real.
And ou même kounya ou prend, and you don't know. So now you take it, ou commence prend pour l'eau, ou mette pour sous l'eau, ou mette layer, et puis by the time you 15, 16, and 30, mais ou dans relation, you don't even know how to deal in that relationship, how to behave with people, how to do this, how to do that. Like, oh, li mal élevé, li this, li that. But all those are unspoken.
deeper. deeper layers.
But moi-même, m'tare men Manouchka fon ti pale pou ki sa li fe broken trauma. Ki unspoken trauma.
Oh,
If I
wow.
listen,
Rapide.
Non, mwen te
Listen,
konse sa se chapit pa mwen liye. Pase mbeze
No. This is
emotion, ok. Mba vle bliye liye.
This is
La
chapter.
poitounez,
This is chapter. But this is good because this shows you the culmination of the book.
Yes.
Okay. So now she's good. She's doing the unspoken trauma. This is like the top of the
Just the
mountain.
top.
Then you start going down the process of achieving restoration, and then she goes into the importance of reflective exercises. So all the things to help people
Yes.
get out of that space and back into being restored.
Those
and then
layers.
understanding meditation, worship, praise, tools for clarity of consciousness. And then she goes into journaling, a vehicle to express your innermost self. And then chapter 9, understanding the process of restoration itself, and then living a life of wholeness. So I'm glad that we all stuck to the unspoken because that's the culmination of the
Yes.
book, right? So we're gonna start the journey. Are you ready?
I'm ready for the ride. With you guiding, sure.
And I apologize. I'm forcing my voice. I lost my voice over the weekend, but it's getting restored. My voice is restoring. Everything is restoring in my life. Anyway,
The body,
All right.
the mind, the
yes.
spirit.
So let's go with chapter 1, ladies. Growing insight into oneself. For me, automatically, what it's making me think, girl, look at yourself. Like, for real. Like, look at yourself in a situation. How do you impact the people around you? And how do you impact yourself? That's what I think when I think about this, insight to self, growing insight of self. Manouchka, for you, in the book, because we're talking about restoration in your book, what did that mean for you, growing inside of self? Am I right to say that? Looking at yourself, looking at how you impact the world?
So for me, this part it's like looking at not only someone because I didn't start the book from the beginning of my life. So I picked one person who really was instrumental in my adult life, which was a colleague, a supervisor. She acted like a big sister. Because imagine you left New York and I went to Tallahassee. I didn't know anyone, just one person and my husband. And this woman just and she wasn't Haitian. She was from St. Thomas, so her name is Berenice Mercer. And she acted like a big sister. So if I needed anything, she was there. When I got in labor, she was the one I went to and said, hold my kids. Then I go to the hospital. So she acted like a surrogate big sister. And so she was very impactful, mentor and all. So I started the book with her. And I said she wasn't the one who did everything, but she was a disruptor in my life. Yes.
That's
What age was that? What age
I
you
was
talking about?
in my early 20s,
Okay.
24.
So basically, you grew up with a balanced life. You didn't have that much trauma. What Gampil?
I wouldn't say that. So that's why I talk about
Oh, okay.
unspoken trauma.
Oh, okay. Because you said you.
So you just through life, I appreciate relationship and journey, and when you click with someone and they support you, you have to acknowledge that in life.
Okay.
So and she did that. She was a disruptor. We're still a good friend. So even though she lives in Florida, I can always reach out and say, hey, B. Da, 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 da. And she will be like, okay, you need to do this,
That's your
this, this,
backbone.
this. Yeah. So she was like an older sister. She always called me little sister. So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So now, when you talk about in that relationship, right? Were you able to work through some insight into yourself? How did that relationship?
from that relationship, then I began to talk about my great aunt, who was very impactful. This is the person who was there for my formative years from age 2 when my father passed away. So I grew up with her up until the point I came to America. So that's the one we call Yaya. Yaya, her given name is Lawrence Bellarise Fresnet. So Bellarise, that's my mid name.
Okay.
So that's why when you hear Bella, that's from Bellarise.
Oh,
So
yeah. I
So
see.
one of my former coworker from Florida, she's Caucasian actually. So she's like, you Bella. So everything that they gave me, from jewelries and all, from that floor, like L&D, Bella.
Okay.
So that's where
your
Bella
tag.
came from.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And then the Shasha was from family who knows me and my close friend. They all know me as Shasha.
Of course, everybody has to have that nickname, right? Yeah, mine is Titi, right? Shasha.
I'm not sharing mine online.
Not sharing yours?
Not online.
Don't ask
I don't
me.
want no one to call me that.
Actually, people do refer to me as Micho because that's how they call me, Micho. And you'll see until now. And I don't have a problem with that because it's part of my life.
Yeah.
And that's Jean-Maman, my papa, m'te konrele, m'te remel, and I had a great childhood with them. So I'm happy to be called Micho. But Subako konem, and continue to be
So from I spoke about my professional life and how I identified myself in my 20s, 30s as more of professional, not really truly finding your core values and yourself.
I see.
So that's why I started with my professional life and the relationship I had with Berenice. And then I move on to personal early life. So in the early life, I'm talking about how it was in Haiti. The relationship I had with my great aunt, and particularly how the dynamic of what it is when you lost one parent and your family is somewhat fractured. And then I talk a little bit. I started the earlier journey in that book. In that chapter.
Okay. So now, when did your self-awareness start kicking in? Would you say that it's something like you were looking back in your life and that's when you started recognizing?
So,
When did
I
it start
think
awakening?
self-awareness doesn't happen all at one time. It's a journey. So I've always looked into personal development in my 20s. I listened to Tony Robbins and all these things, but it's on the continuum, right? So you may have some self-awareness at 20, but you don't have that full self-awareness that you have at 52.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's on a continuum.
Okay.
I see that. I call her president, so I see our president is smiling. And I know prior to that, she was like, no, mbavle bai, ti no, you can't get him now.
Not doing it.
She's not doing it.
She still have the walls,
The
so
walls.
she's not unmasking.
She's not
It's okay. It's okay.
not ready to be restored.
I'm comfortable with that. I'm not ready to be restored. One day I will. That's why we're here, because I'm looking for help. So I remember I didn't finish the book yet, so I cannot say I'm fully restored. So now you said unspoken trauma. Remember, I'm going back to that. Why do you decide to put that in a book?
So because I feel that sometimes when you do well in life, people have a tendency to put you on a pedestal. And you're forced to sometimes perform. You're forced to
For sure.
be like an imposter. So I've always fought the idea of being an imposter. So when I had that experience, so just to be clear why the book was written, I was not trying to write a book like this to begin with. So I was writing a book about Bella Shasha, coaching, LLC.
Trying to run away from real stuff.
No. We were not even there. So in the process of writing the manuscript, almost done, and I had an incident with a family member I grew up with. She came to my house unannounced. And the relationship was very distant. I felt it was a stranger who walked into my house.
And that was a family member?
Yes. And it was because through the distance of time, wall was created. That's the human part of me. So, and I acknowledge when you're aware of yourself, you're gonna know these things. And so, because I was very aware of that wall that went up, and
So, sorry, so did you put up the wall, or
I did.
it was both of you that put
it
up?
was me.
was
That's
you,
the human
okay.
So
part
that's
of her.
the accountability of self. So when you can see you put a psychological wall, if you are accountable, you're gonna hold yourself accountable. You cannot expect people to grow, and if you say you a coach, and you can even look at yourself and reflect. And
That's
one of
deep.
the-
And if I may just
That's
jump for a
deep.
second, I think that's great because don't you see, même dans relation, we friends, ou fè mon bagay, ou même qui fè, moi react. And by reacting, ou même ou pi mauvais que moi. So that's what she's trying to say. Li d'accord que c'est lui-même qui gagne un problème. She had to take ownership. On mette le comme ça, il est obligé de prendre responsabilité. Parce que il y a un paquet d'amitié qui crase comme ça. You do something, it's not right. Just apologize, puis nous continuer. But the fact that ou même qui fait mon nom et puis là, so, but that's great. And I think that's a book qu'on tout le monde a doué envie gagner parce que it's a reminder for personal growth. It's a reminder pour nous prendre décision, pour nous grandir. Because all these relationships que n'a perdu parce que nous pas being accountable pour nous pas accountabilité pour ça nous fait relation ça a été capable de permettre nous grandir pas seulement relation mais nous même de nous pas jamais grandir.
And at the same time, based on what you just said, sometimes c'est pas comme si nous va grandir, non, nous avons un ego qui permet nous pour nous pas faire ça. Do you understand?
Because myself, this is the way I call it. I never, I don't like to talk because I don't want people to take it wrong. Because I always say that our people, nous avons un ego qui est mal placé. Un ego mal placé, c'est un ego qui n'a pas de place.
Dale, tout le monde a tout fait, non, tout le monde a tout fait.
All right, I'm done.
Vous devez continuer.
Okay, I'm done.
So just to say that, yes. So
But this is the unmasking.
Yes.
So
That's
the
what you're talking
unmasking,
about.
yes. This is the unmasking. So to understand that even the person created the distance because I did not. The person did. But there are reasons why people create distance. That may not even be anything related to you.
Yes, indeed.
So, so when the person created the distance for me, because the friendship and the connectiveness was so tight, I couldn't accept it
Okay.
when it was going on. So for me to
So
deal
it
with
broke your
it,
heart.
to deal with it, I pulled myself away and then created a wall just to
protect yourself.
myself. So it's a defense mechanisms. So it's avoidance. It's the one of way people avoid to be not to have recurrent injury, psychologically let down, because it's a letdown when you try to maintain a relationship
That
but it's not
somebody
there.
else
Yeah.
The person is
doesn't
not
want-
available.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if the person is not available for whatever reason, you have to accept that. But in the process with distance, you can
You take
create
it
walls.
personal.
And I don't
No,
think
not
I took
you,
it
like human
personal.
being in general.
It's like you just
Rejection,
create
you feel like it's
wall.
rejection.
Mm-mm, you just create wall to protect you.
Okay.
Because
So you
relationship
understand it, you
require
just- okay.
that you expectations are set, right? So when expectations are set, if every time you go forward, you get disappointed, after a while you're
You
gonna
adjust
protect
yourself.
yourself. You adjust yourself.
Yes.
And in adjusting yourself, you may distance yourself.
So that's
And
your
then so-
coping mechanism
It's a
to
coping
certain
mechanism.
things. Okay.
So then the person kind of become like not truly relatable, rather you are related by blood. You may be related to a friend much closer than a blood relative.
To me,
Is
that's a
it
natural thing.
living depend parce que l'autre monde nan li même li prêt, li disponible?
No, not really.
Well,
No, based on what we're discussing.
Well,
is that-
I don't think because somebody just show up one day, they're telling you. They're-
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
So
yes.
conversation
No,
have
because
to
you
have.
said
That's true. That's true.
No. What I mean it's because you mentioned that moun ki gen do pa fè moun ou plus related to moun sa.
Yeah.
So I
Because-
say
because
that
remember,
because moun sa
I-
li même li prêt pour relation, li prêt pour son besoin for the moment.
I mean, for now, but I cannot assume that
Call the
because
other
somebody
ladies.
shows up now, that's when they're ready for to have that serious relationship. You would have to have conversation. So that's how the book started. It's like in unmasking and looking at your own self with authenticity, and to say, hey, I messed up there because I didn't have to treat that person that way. And so in meditation and all, then I was inspired to say, you need to write about restoration.
Yeah. And it's one of the best things is to be able to write something about what you are actually going through. So Lucita is going to read part of chapter 4, which is the hot topic, right? The unspoken trauma. And so we're going to just get a snippet of the book so we can have a feel and a vibe for it. And we might pick another part of the book to read, but right now we're going to read from the unspoken trauma.
And remember, we have ladies that are waiting. After my reading this, I will call on the other ladies that are waiting to get themselves ready because it's going to be your turn on the hot seat. All right, so now let's talk about the unspoken trauma. We're going to start the way the author started the chapter is with Isaiah 41, verse 10, right? So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. You can tell I don't read the Bible often. Now let's go into the chapter. I recall an incident from my teenage years in junior high. When I was heading home from school, I felt a light touch on my buttocks. It was a male classmate who had decided to touch me without permission. This was the beginning of sexual molestation. My oldest brother, Jackson, witnessed the incident while walking behind us, but my classmate was unaware of his presence. My brother proceeded to yell at the young man, inquiring what was going on. I don't want to continue reading. I just want to ask MANOUCHKA, why do you feel like you had to start the chapter with this incident?
Well, I think that it's one topic that is tabooed, not only in the Haitian culture, just globally, to talk about childhood molestation. So, and I think it was since we're talking about the topic of restoration, there's so many traumas that happen with childhood molestation. And some of them, people are so broken. They spend their entire life broken.
Yeah.
And some of them, it destroys them.
Yeah.
And because if we go back to our own culture, because they said children are seen not spoken, their complaint never get validated. So they're the one who end up being victims times two.
Yeah.
And it's so true because a lot of us, this is so important to me because in my field and personal experience, whenever you decide to speak, you always become the bad apple, especially sou gon parent ki high rank, yo pa vle pou sal non fami an. So molestation e kom si ou pa supposé parler de li. Mais ou même ki nan kay la, wap viv en situation pareil, ou pa gon moun pour aller parler ensemble avec lui. So moi quoi qu'on y a second generation que nous y n'a grandi, li était important pour moi que nous commençons grand pour nous parler de taboo subject in our community. So Go ahead.
No. Oh, you can go ahead.
I was going to say, very importantly, is that passage que l'autre t'a fait client, nous avons minimiser. Oh, c'est juste un tape que le débat, c'est pas grand-chose. Mais il faut qu'on comprenne que ça pour nous comprendre ça tout et que nous connaissons que Manouchka va rentrer là-dedans, certainement, c'est que plus ou commencer à affecter l'espace qui est tout même avec le monde, ou commencer à faire que l'espace ça pas compter. Et puis c'est comme ça que la vie plus.
N'importe bagage qui arrive.
Ça veut dire que bon limite que leur petit monde peut pas apprendre que est capable bien des séries de limites pour capable dire non parce que premier bagage il a dit sortez là on dit pas même fond rien même tout autant sans pas dehors tout autant et même leur garder leur sang compte dehors tout
C'est fort tout.
mais c'est fort tout ou bien c'est pas grave c'est même qu'à font pas de bagarre avec situation mais ça n'a pas là c'est ça y aurait qu'on y a là boundaries là ça veut dire que l'on crée un espace pour l'autre vivre là en santé espace ça faut qu'il maintenu si qu'on a commencé à rentrer dans l'espace là ou commencer qu'on va affecter bien-être monde là donc Manouchka ça c'était un attouchement sexuel que était si ça t'arrêtait là pas de gain est-ce qu'on pensait que alors qu'il était changé bagarre là was this the precursor of something else how did it become that
Well, it is a precursor because he felt that comme si que pas de moun là. So he's entitled to do that. And what people don't understand, if somebody doesn't give you permission to touch them, you can't touch them.
Don't.
And I tell my kids that too, because
you
they're all
have the
boys.
right to have a space
I said,
that nobody gets to
you cannot touch people if they don't give you permission.
That's right.
So, and that's respecting them, and that's respecting their boundaries.
And
So that's a quick way to go to jail.
And sometimes, sorry, moun ap tou chou, c'est pour commencer, vous comprenez? Pour le how much are you okay, willing to accept? C'est ça fait sou pas mette on, yes, you know, ça gen là, toujours ap manger comme ça, et puis whatever. Et gen des fois ou nice, parce que ou gen une gentillesse, yo li mal, et puis yo
Kind.
you kind.
Ou son moun naturellement qui
Qui kind.
Ou gen habilité pour qu'on qui gens pour mettre boundary.
People take you for granted. You pas prendre sérieux.
Let me say one thing.
Hold on 1 second.
I
Hold
was
on.
not with so many things like this happened to me because he wasn't the only one.
Wow.
He was a young guy. So, but as I got older, 15, I'm sure you guys know about supers, right? Of a building.
No,
So Hispanic
Brooklyn,
guy,
yes.
I was coming out and he pinned me.
Oh.
Yes. So it's just sometimes when people say, "Oh, it's because your parents are not looking at you," I tell people get attacked when you're out. So it's not always under the roof. So people just have to understand. And my thing is to always leave the door open for your kids so they can ask questions. You know.
You're gonna say it, but I don't. Go ahead.
Non, parce que tout à l'heure, où tu as parlé, docteur Lucita, où tu as mentionné que les parents, parce que les parents, ils ont caché ça, parce que les parents ont des moyens, ils ne peuvent pas dire, ou pas, ils ne peuvent pas ça. Mais pas seulement parce que les parents ont des moyens, il y a des gens qui sont pauvres, qui ne peuvent pas, parce que les gens qui ont dérangé, c'est lui-même qui a porté un quotidien en Kaila. So they know about it, but you still pas connaître. And il y a des fois où même si mon nom, ou pas vle dire parent ou pas vle dire personne, c'est parce que you just feel dirty. You feel dirty, you don't want to share. You just feel that you are jugé. So the shame that ou même ou gain, le fait que c'est pas parent pas rien à voir, au contraire parent t'a aimé pour yo connaître what's going on pour yo même te aider. It's just you yourself qui feel dirty
Or
and you don't want to
sometimes
share.
kids, if it's repetitive, in certain time, there's blackmail. Because
there's that too.
I've interviewed someone, and I mean, she had way worse than what I'm talking about, like a teenager trying to touch me or stuff like that. We're talking about someone before age 9 who was severely traumatized with full-on sexual attack.
Yeah, sexual
So
assault.
you can imagine you less than 9 and you've gotten all of this done to you. So and for her, he always blackmailed her and says, if you tell, I'm gonna say that you wanted to have that done.
Lord.
Imagine if psychology, when you in that age group, you in pre-operational thinking. So you cannot process complex
You
things.
can't.
So you all been manipulated at 100-fold at that time.
So,
Go ahead. No,
if I may ask, qui jan ou même ou te di la que ça nan moment?
So for me, I'm gonna fight you. I'm a fighter. I confront things. So when he tried, I put a fight. So he had to leave me alone. He never succeeded in what he wanted to do. So in all of these attempts, that's always that. From that, a super or a non-blood relatives, while I was laying in bed and came to do a full attack. So with drinking with alcohol, I'm gonna fight you. So it
You're a
never
fighter.
it never get to the point where they succeeded, but the fact that you are attacked, it creates something in you. For me, I became a fighter, and no man, I'm gonna torture you if you're trying to date me.
Yeah,
So I
so
think
that's a
a
tra-
lot
that's
of
a trauma.
aggression
That's a trauma.
came.
From
So
that.
from
Yeah.
that. So I was a
gonna
no-nonsense
ask-
kind of girl when I was a teenager.
I'm gonna
so
ask
if you're
you-
gonna date me, you're gonna go through some kind of torture. When I read did the book, I kind of back it and I'm like, that's all
That's
the
where
trauma
it's
you
coming
had.
from.
So
Wait.
you are
I'm
making
meaning
sure
the
that you
restored
pay.
Manushka.
Wait,
I have a question.
The
Look,
restored Manushka,
Yes,
because you
yes.
are not like that.
No,
You are
I'm not.
definitely a
No, I'm not.
smooth,
No, I'm not.
very, yeah, she is.
That's
yeah.
30 years.
but I'm gonna take it.
No, it's usually that is not from men. I'm very protective of women by nature.
Yes.
So it's usually men I will fight. So I would not
Fight women.
fight women.
so you're
Me-
safe, Mioland. You're
Me, I'm
safe.
gonna
Oh,
take.
I'm being.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it to another point, right? When you affected with the super, the person in your bed, how does that affect? I know you're a married woman of over many years. How does that affect your sexual life, your sexual relationship?
I
Because
think-
sometimes,
Yeah,
you know, you always fear, you're always
See,
afraid.
for me, because I think I tucked it under. I tucked it under. It's like it happens. Okay, it happens. You fought through your way, and I just left it in the subconscious. It was when I was writing all this manuscripts, then I kind of put the
Put it
dots
again.
together and see all the aggression and my story, which I've told you.
So, do you love
one-on-one.
sex?
Manushka. You see, she's When I ask you, Manushka, est-ce que dans mon
We are about restoration.
restoration. But est-ce que dans moment on va poser cette question, why me? Because a lot of time things can arriver nous as humains.
I never did.
We will no, no.
We always
Parce que
did.
je parler avec oh, that's 101. I was gonna say parler avec, that's 101. She said that 101 when get that. I was gonna say parler
Map
avec.
one more up, map one more up with no one-on-one. Map one more minute.
Non, parce que moi-même, moi, dans la communauté longtemps, moi, dans l'église longtemps, depuis à 13 ans, je rentre à l'église, je peux 13 ans, et depuis que je rentre à l'église, je peux quand même as moun yo même yo te wè an, je rentre comme leader. Je rentre comme leader, je rentre comme moun kap manage grand moun kap relem, you know, so je rentre en mal. So expérience moi, je grand pile, moi tande, moi comprendre moi ouais. And ou même kounya ou capable de dire ou pas de prendre mal mais grand pile monde jusqu'on y a blâme tête yo parce que yo dit c'est yo te met tête dans position.
Attends, c'est ça que Manouchka dit nous. It's a process of restoration. So I'm waiting for the other ladies to come.
So you can
that we
discuss
can go
that.
into exactly like how do you go back and restore yourself, right?
Yes.
And stop living the fight or flight.
Yes.
And what are the steps and what can we learn, right? There's a lot more in the book, but what can we learn from and restore ourselves?
Definitely, I think so. Because a lot of women out there, they're going through this and they feel,
Oh, yeah, I
say,
know.
you meet that, parce que ça you feel, you put yourself through this. So, yes, then I think, welcome.
So we have a new guest coming
We have a
in
new
and
guest.
sitting down. So you see how we switch up real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we have another beautiful lady coming to talk about restoration. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, and if you have any questions.
What about if I just say quickly, she's very shy. That's
Oh.
her.
She is, okay. Well, thank you, Mila, you're very kind. We'll give her a try and see, how she can.
All right. My name is Erlene.
If you can come closer to the mic, please, okay.
We won't bite.
Okay.
I will.
So my name is Erlene Valier, and I'm a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for 14 years, and
And now you're here on the panel with us to talk about restoration, right?
yes.
So I know you were listening to the beginning, right? You were listening to the beginning of the show.
Yes.
And we spoke about all the traumas, all the unspoken traumas, and all the things that happened to us. But MANOUCHKA created a book, a process to achieve wholeness through restoration. So when you think about restoration for yourself, right, what do you think about?
Okay, so the thing that MANOUCHKA have been going through, unfortunately for me, m'a passé expérience ça, okay?
Okay.
But restauration pour moi, c'est m'ka comprendre gen bagay qui passe dans la vie, gen moun qui ka affecté jan moun a penser dans futur, okay? So c'est juste
Like for you. So if you think about, comme si restoration for yourself, not even about the book, like in your life, comme si dans la vie ba ou. Restaurer. Moi-même, je pense à la restauration. Moi, je pense à, par exemple, un vieux chaudière, je nettoyer. To kind of make it, look cleaner, right? That's what I think about restoration. So for you, in your own life, when you think about restoration, or some people think about sleeping, or, right? What does restoration mean to you?
okay, for me, it's just getting to the point if I was like down and something was affecting me, just go ahead and work on myself, trying to make myself better, okay, as a better person, and how I can serve the community, and how so that thing that caused the problem, so it doesn't happen.
So again.
Yeah, so it doesn't happen again to the next person, like my children. If this happened to me, I don't want it to happen to my children by teaching them how to do better in life.
Okay, so that's good. So now, we all kind of shared a little bit what restoration means to us, MANOUCHKA, but for you, in the context of the book, what should we get from when we think about restoration?
So, what I think of restoration, it's in the title. It says it's a process to achieve wholeness. So we all have had some trauma, whether we want to admit it or not. If you lost somebody who's dear to you, it may be traumatic. How the person lost, I've talked about it. I talked about how my cousin collapsed and passed away 2 days before Christmas, and I was the one who had to ID her at a local hospital here because she was a Jane Doe. So she wasn't sick.
Wow.
She just collapsed as a police officer here in Atlanta at home, and they had to break through our home. If you are close to someone and you get into having unexpected death, it's traumatic. So we may put the mask and say, we're good. That's because we have not done the work to unveil the mask. All of us has had trauma.
I'm glad that we're talking about trauma, but not the oh, I got beat up and it's trauma, or things that people would consider evidently trauma. But yes, witnessing a crime or having to ID someone, these are traumatic moments, right? And what you're saying is these things do have a big impact on our lives.
Yes, yes. Because if it's somebody very dear and near to you, and then you grew up with, you spend your summer with, you have a connection with, and then there was no illness to prepare you that this is poor prognosis, and then you have to go to a hospital, and then the doctor's telling you, how much did the other family told you? And I'm like, well, they just told me she's in the hospital. And then she looked at me and says, she came in as a DOA, so meaning that dead on arrival. And then we did all we could. Sorry. That's very deep.
Yeah.
When you're just sitting here, and this is someone who worked complex hospital inpatient. I just went blank. I couldn't process anything that woman was telling me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so sometimes we don't own up our own trauma because we feel that, okay, I'm good.
strong. That's what
I'm
they make you.
strong because they told us we're black. This island son. We cannot. These things are not for us.
We survived
So we
slavery.
just have layers of trauma. That's
So-
what we do. We have layers
So
of
how
trauma.
did those things manifest in your life?
So for me,
Like the signs that you were like, oh my God, I need to get restored or I need to
So-
do some work.
for work, I worked in a very prestigious hospital. I hated the place. I hated the job just because of treatment. I wasn't treated well there. And not only myself, many were not treated well. So we felt like we were just a token. And so, and it's hard to go to a place where it's very toxic. So that's why I talk about work toxicity. And it was during that time I did a lot of learning and research what it is to be in leadership because I felt leadership was lacking. So for me, whenever I'm going through something, what can I find about this? So that's what I did. And that was during that space I become very connected with God. I go to him, I petition, I argue, I do everything I could. And he says, 7 years. And I spent 7 years in that place. And the minute 7 years was over, I applied with the very first job. I got it. So it allowed me to connect. And during that connection, so I've learned to give people grace when they didn't even deserve it. Because I did work on myself. And then you in the book, there's going to be named because those people worked with me. And we created relationship. I'm still friends with those ladies, and they're like, "We need to have a book club, so we can get your book." And when are we meeting? Because we used to meet once a month. So now they said, "You're too busy now, MANOUCHKA. We can't even meet with you." So that's how connected we became through that process of trauma. And all of us were traumatized. I wasn't the only one. They too, they were traumatized. That one was traumatized worse than I did because I am a fighter. I'm gonna fight you, but she wasn't a fighter. So she was literally traumatized. Just talking about the place gave her a bad sense of feeling. That's trauma.
Yeah, that is trauma.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's one set of trauma. And I talked about losing someone you care for. That's another set of trauma. And losing your parent at an early age, it's another set of trauma.
So
And
but then people would ask, what impact does it have on me? Like, okay, I mean, this happened to me, and then so what?
If
they
you lost
just,
a
they
parent,
just.
No, not, I mean, meaning, okay, it happened, right? Because some people are not able to necessarily have the self-awareness to know how they're feeling or to understand how they're feeling, right? So what can you share with us in your experience that how does it really manifest in people's lives,
I tell you
those
one
types
thing.
of traumas?
I tell you something. I had a patient who, when I saw her daughter was sexually abused, not here in Haiti, and it almost destroyed that girl
How?
with her behavior.
How?
Because behavior, I can disclose that further.
Okay.
You know, so when I brought it to the mom's attention, and she said, "Well, what would I say about me?" Because she too was traumatized.
Yeah.
She had the similar experience, and so she become numb and normalized the behavior.
Yeah.
So because she become numb and normalized the behavior,
Now it's
so for her,
perpetuating.
so it goes transgenerational.
Yeah.
That's what we were
Yeah.
talking earlier on.
So that's one of the things, yes, that
What
we
is
said,
causing-
like it goes farther. So that's a
From
good
DNA
reason
and-
to want to restore, right? Because then you don't want to affect your entire lineage
Yes.
with
But people don't
trauma.
understand it. People don't know it. And also, comme moi te dit, moi remets mettre en créole parce que moi remets communauté, m'da mes communauté en comprendre ni. Parce que nous sommes en Haïti. Nous sommes en Haïti, yo dit que déjà nous t'es passé temps esclavage qui dans DNA nous. Et nous connaissons les gens politiques vivent en Haïti. Et le jour où la vie plus mal, ou juste pas qu'à moun yo traumatisé mais yo pas comprendre ça et le fait que yo traumatisé yo pas qu'à faire bonne relation et puisque pas qu'à gen bonne relation pas qu'à gen bon population pas gen bon population pas gen bon communauté
Il va y avoir-
and we always say nous pas trust nous dis nous that y a montré son l'autre sujet nous pas pour tirer le sous livre là mais y a montré depuis dans l'esclavage côté que nous pas qu'à trust une l'autre et jusqu'on y a nous style comme ça et qu'on y a pour nous t'a dit n'a grandi parce que toute nation bon côté où t'es passé je dis on parler de Haïti ou pas bon juif yo t'es gen côté où t'es passé tout gen l'autre nation t'es gen côté où t'es passé gen l'autre nous qui était dans l'esclavage avant nous bien que pas nous on était plus dur I'm not trying to make excuses just trying to make a point however parce que yo même la vie yo vin plus stable yo capable sortir dans point A pour yo traverser dans point F ou bien M. However, nous même pas nous à dégrader. So instead pour les yo sorti, c'est l'autre y a mette and we have to survive. Nous obligés continuer à la vie. So nous vinn développer l'autre manière, l'autre façon.
On vient normaliser bagarre.
Nous
La vie
pensons-
fait partie intégrante de gens ou même comporter tête ou dans la société.
Ou ouais gen ti moun qui tous oh yeah moi même c'est nous déjà connaît moi même c'est cas perdu mieux bon cas perdu là dire c'est pas parce que le cas perdu c'est parce que premièrement gen pile layer qui a monté et pendant gen layer ça pas gen personne qui comprend ni pas gen personne qui capable aider so living to normaliser c'est lifestyle so my question now ou encore compréhension c'est qui gens ou nous t'es capable faire moun yo comprendre yo besoin pour yo restaurer.
C'est ça. Qui ça qui fait? Très belle question, right? Comment pour nous faire moun yo comprendre que ça son bagage qui est
Besoin.
important?
Parce que
So it's to create space like you guys are doing, right? So to talk about it, because just talking about child molestation is very taboo, right, in our own culture.
Definitely.
So it's to say that if it can happen to me and it happens to you, you stay quiet. So I speak on it. So I give you a voice to speak on your story. So that's why when it says the restoration, and I had to go inward and do a lot of reflection and said, you need to talk about this because you have created spaces and you've asked people to be vulnerable. And in that, this is your point where you
Dr.
can be
Manouchka,
vulnerable
I'm
in the
sorry,
book.
you said you ask people to be vulnerable because some of them are vulnerable. I may choose not to because they don't want it.
Well, no, because when you create that space, I do that.
So it's
with-
inviting.
yes,
Okay.
it's on. That's why I never
Because
invite.
people
I-
qui
I-
blessés, you're réellement protectif.
I don't invite people I know they're not going to be vulnerable on my podcast.
Okay.
If I know you're not going to be vulnerable, you're not ready
So you're not taking the-
psychologically, I'm not going to invite you. The reason I'm not going to invite you, because I know you're not going to be vulnerable. So why invite you so you wearing your mask?
Okay, so you
So,
only
no.
invite people keep red to your,
I only invite
healing.
people who know they've already done the healing.
Yeah.
but they have to be vulnerable.
Open to share
They're open to share their stories.
That's the beginning.
without feeling
without
like,
feeling
I'm gonna
like
go and
people are
perform.
judging.
I'm gonna get judged. Or,
They've already done the work, but they're ready to share. You don't bring.
process.
I don't bring anybody who's iffy on my table. Then I know you're gonna be wearing a mask. You're gonna circumvent. You're not gonna answer the question.
Basically, if you're on this fake stuff, you ain't gonna be invited.
I don't call it, I don't know, moi toujours prends pour moun, moi toujours prends pour moun. D'ailleurs, le petit, pour moun, one sis là pour me détendre pour me bailler ça. But anyway, le petit, le petit, yo te dit que c'est lawyer pour faire pour qui ça, c'est parce que yo toujours m'a défendre moun. Mais yo pas de comprendre que c'est nature. Nature, c'est pour prendre pour moun qui vulnérable, pour moun qui pas gagné, pour moun qui perdu, pour moun qui pas gon voix. So it's just natural dans moi-même. So that's one thing qui fait me toujours penser que moun qui vulnérable qui ça le fait, il peur. Il peur.
That's true.
Il peur.
That's
But
true.
what does it give you? Like, help us understand. Like, people say be vulnerable, but then
No,
help
même
people
comprendre
understand
ni-
pour qui ça que l'important pour vulnérable.
Yes, but pour qui ça l'important.
Pour qui ça l'important pour vulnérable.
Parce que
So,
c'est lui-même qui a fait understanding, pas n'a quitté.
so for me,
Vous attendez Arlene, toi, Arlene fait.
Arlene, on quitte Arlene. Parce que Arlene son nurse. Arlene son nurse, elle y écrit livre sur bagay nursing, so of course she has.
Of course, yes,
things.
of
Yeah.
course.
Arlene, yes.
so Arlene, you have to, I guess, spread your wings, because your guest says, your invitee says you're quiet, but this is your time to share. It could be professional sharing where you may come across someone who was in a vulnerable population. So, and how do you deal with that when you identified people who are in a vulnerable population? And what would you leave, what recommendation would you leave with the audience?
Yeah, so je comprends ça, Manouchka fait. So, lors vulnérable vraiment, you feel something happened to you. So you just have to go ahead and tell exactly how it happens. Do not hide it. Because when you hide something, someone did something bad to you, and you go ahead and hide it, ou bay moun qui bo problème là, plus chance pour continuer avec à faire,
Exactly.
you understand? So, li better, même le ou pas senti bien ça moun nan fò lan, ou ka toujours go ahead and talk about it. Find someone that you trust and then talk to them about it. Express yourself. And then if you have children afterward, do not hide it. Because that was your life. It happens to you, it can happen to your children also. It can happen to your sisters, anybody around you. If you don't spread it, you don't tell about it, those people don't know. They don't know what's going on around. So it's best you go ahead and talk about it, explain. If it happens, I'm here. I can be like someone you can trust and come talk about the experience you had. So,
But
yeah.
here's my understanding from experience again. Comme moi dis, moun qui vulnérable, yo peur. Parce que moi déjà blessé. If moi déjà blessé, docteur Lucita, pour qui ça pour mal koto encore alors que me déjà peur? Qui ça qui pourrait le faire moi-même moi open up to you?
But sous
Parce que
besoin.
déjà blessé.
Sous
Parce que-
besoin.
Non,
Ok.
parce que pas oublier en général, s'il était that easy, tout le monde dans process healing. I remember somebody told me once, parce que nous strong, parce que bon nous strong, c'est ça qu'il faut même au cas dire comme ça faut qu'apprendre comme ça. Moi te dit non et après ça on va nous parler en conversation, random conversation. But later on moi dit maybe gain des bagailles qui dans nous-mêmes qui fait que nous-mêmes nous stronger si c'est pas vrai tout le monde tape dans même stage parce que on paquet dans nous arrivons côté on conférence 500 000 moun. Pourtant, à peine si gagne 1% dans mon conférence à cap sort son bagage et puis cap prendre cap grandir ensemble avec lui. So, what about how can we really tackle this et puis pour nous aider l'autre monde yo open up?
So, like I said, you have to create space like this to begin the conversation. Because if there's no conversation, it's gonna stay in the head. And then to let people know that because you were abused, because you've gone through whatever type of trauma that you've been through, you don't have to stay there. Because many of those who experience trauma, who are very traumatized, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it in their behavior, how they see life, how they approach relationships. So you're gonna see it. It's gonna
So you
permeate.
think,
It's gonna permeate.
Vous pensez que son bagage qui t'a doué permanent, c'est pas un random case quand on continuellement à faire, à ouvrir cadre, à mettre space pour moun yo sentir confortable?
Yeah,
And
it's an ongoing process because to teach a change of mindset require repeated exposure. You don't get it one
You
time.
wanted to say something.
Yeah.
And some of these people, I think at least they have someone that they trust.
And yes, you can start with
You can-
someone that they
you
trust,
trust.
but at least if the conversation is open, so they can see it, and then they can go to that person that they trust, and that person that they trust, you hope that they trust the right person, and it can help
them.
canalize them to where they need to be, whatever help that they need. If they need therapy, so they get the therapy that they need. If they need coaching with therapy, then they can get that, because you'll be surprised how many young women who have been victims of molestation or sexual
Oh, yeah, the statistic is like,
attacks
I
and
think it's
all.
2 out of 5.
It's
Like we're in
very,
a group, like right now in this in this building, if we're 10 women, probably 5, 6 of us already got something
Yeah.
happened.
yeah, so
Molestation, or rape.
so it's important you have those.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah. So
No,
so
statistics
so
are-
for you, and 90% of them are people you know too.
Yes, that's a hard, that's a
you
bigger
know
one.
too, like
90%
know.
of the
Yes.
people who get sexually assaulted get assaulted by
yes,
people
I
we
had
know.
somebody, moi, l'homme fait que venir ici, moi rencontré, il dit depuis à 4 ans, tonton l'a molesté. 4 ans.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean, these
she
are
was
these are the most
But
vulnerable.
she didn't understand.
Ben,
4 ans, et puis
course.
l'on commençait à grand, 10 ans, tonton commençait à dire, OK, m'a pas acheté bagaille pour vous, and everything. So, lui-même,
So
il
the
vient
uncle
addicted.
groomed.
She's
The uncle-
addicted.
And
the
I
uncle
think
groomed
for
her.
for a child like that, there's
The
something the
uncle
parents.
groomed her.
Yeah,
So
she
there's
did.
grooming that goes on, and there's actually a case here
But-
in our community, not here in, I think it's in Florida, where the family was big in TikTok
Oh,
and all.
yes, I saw
Yeah,
that, but
and
they say
then-
he didn't commit a crime. I don't know.
No, the case is not out.
The case is not
He
out.
needs to go to.
He needs to go to court.
But if you somebody who worked the health field, you can see the girl was very uncomfortable. He was very inappropriate, and there are certain things that we have to teach people. So because I fought tooth and nail when I get on those stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, this is inappropriate. The girl has a mother. There was no need for a stepdad to take this young girl to Victoria's Secret. Oh no, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong
I
with
know
that.
it. No, but I understand. It's complex. It's very complex. Pendant que parler, am songe somebody monte vini, m'te fait vini ici. Et puis il gen petit li, il dit que même pas petit là, il pas bail fait toilette li parce que le tout lui même c'est pas pour petit là avant non. Il tout la protéger foyer, le le petit là pral non dit papa le témoigner le mal et puis pral vinn déranger so.
No, but
This is so
Victoria's
crazy
Secret,
to
you
think
have
about it that
you know,
way.
Yeah, but
It's
as a
crazy.
parent,
No,
you have
hold
to
on,
be
hold on.
parents,
No,
you
no,
know?
no, hold on. No, I understand that, but hold on, I understand that. So c'est pour moi tourner sur that thing going on dans la communauté que pas gain pile chance pour m'te ouais en pile sous lui. However, moi te ouais côté que monsieur on vidéo on real côté que monsieur a été mené le gradué or something et puis le film mené le gradué il était garder do gesture qui montre qui pas approprié. But guess what? Gen moun qui te pour monsieur. So what do you say to un moun qui go through this? Parce que gen moun qui pour monsieur. So it's
A lot
not
of-
easy.
a lot
Hold
of
on.
them-
It's not easy for these people. Parce que leur li joindre moun qui pour monsieur.
No, but the thing is, some of them, no, but some of them, once they heard voices, then now there's voice coming out. So, and they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. But so what people don't understand, our community is not well versed with sexual education.
No, we're not.
They're not. So because they're not well versed with sexual education, so they can even identify what's inappropriate. You know? So if you are a stepdad, you have no business having, because people do everything
Comment
for
belle en
views.
est so far?
The mother.
Comment mother?
I don't know. She
She's on the
said
garage.
she's been in hiding. She
Remember
just
other people want
depression.
to chop in the conversation, tell them, because they have a lot of questions.
Oh, they have
So
questions. So
acknowledge them, yes.
Oh, you
so
have
we have
people.
question. We have question. We have
iPads,
question.
we
We
have,
have questions. Let's see. We have questions. So let's get
Yes,
to
if
the
they have
questions and all.
questions, then
So
we
because
have
we getting
Thank you for
so.
the
Supposed to
reminder.
get on the Zoom to share their part of that conversation. So we like with 45
So
minutes.
let's see.
Dr. Lucita, I know.
So she wants to come in, just give me
So
1
I
minute.
don't. I don't.
Oh, you can't see it.
I can
It's
see it.
under one of
Well,
I'll
well,
let you know what the questions
well.
are.
Let us know what the question.
And
One
then,
of the
We'll
questions.
take it from there, because
Okay.
we were supposed to hop on the Zoom, but because
Mm-hmm.
of time,
Okay.
we will not do that, we'll just read the questions out loud.
That's
So we're gonna, give me 1 minute, we're gonna let somebody else come in, and you go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, because I do have,
You can go.
because we talk about, we definitely spoke about the sexual trauma, but then we also spoke about what helps is being vulnerable and having spaces to share. We also spoke about, we started touching about sexual education. To me, talking about, to me, it's the same conversation, right? Being vulnerable means also talking about sexual education. It's a good and the bad, it's both sides of it. And being able to be open and saying, I think my son was 6. I think when I told him exactly what sex was, might as well know. Because if you're asking the question, then you deserve the answer. And then when you have the answer, now you have the information. And removing the shame, which is one of the reasons that. Now, I want to move on to other aspects of restoration. We spoke about being vulnerable. What are some of the other things that you can share? And then we have this beautiful Bertos, who's on here with us as well, and who's also going to share, right, when we're talking about tips for restoration, maybe Bertos is going to be able to share with us, what are some tips of restoration? What do you do, what should we do to start restoring ourselves?
So do you want to start with me?
Actually, yes, I would like to start with Bertos.
Bertos.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, hi everyone. Hey, I am
Get
Beato.
on the screen, please.
Oh,
Thank you.
right here.
Keep going, get on the screen.
In front
Okay.
of the camera.
Just get on the screen, get on the screen. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now you're good now. We
everyone.
love to see
Hi,
all
girls.
of you. Yes.
Thank you. So, my name is Beato. So, I've been in Atlanta the last 28 years, nurse, chef, master cosmetology license. I'm everywhere. I'm doing everything, tasking. So this topic is so close to me, to my heart, and to some of my family members, to very related. So it's a little slap on my face at this point. And then
Yeah.
and if we're coming from our community, we say we don't know about these things. So it's like we undenied because it's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So way to restorations to
Yeah,
me.
way to restore. Well, what do you do?
First of all, we're not talking about counseling at all. The whole topic with
No,
no,
we're
it's
talking
a-
about the whole thing.
It's
part of
I
it.
think it's parts of the healing process of counseling, and we cannot trust everyone either, because you can think like you're going to express that very important subject to somebody else, and then some people don't talk about it because they know when they talk about it, there's that person they trust going to tell it to somebody else that they don't want the words to come out.
So it's
They
secrecy
just
and privacy.
vulnerability, and then we're talking about that too as well, because if I tell you, you're gonna tell her and her, so my whole thing gonna be out, and then I'm just ashamed of even telling you.
Yeah.
Simply.
There's a lot of
yeah.
shame.
So
So-
talk about shame again. Yeah.
Yes, so it's a very hard thing to talk about, and then that's the reason why I think they keep it for, so tight and they keep it. Some people die, they never
Exactly.
express.
And then so that's why
things.
these books are important. She's not calling anybody. She's just publishing the book, and everybody knows. Okay, everybody knows. And so that we're skipping the step of this person, that person, right? You just like rip the Band-Aid, and I think when you do that, then you allow me to feel like that was saying. No, I can't. I don't care if she goes and tells her. Who cares, right? Because this is an open conversation. This is something that people have come out already and spoken
They're so
about.
ashamed.
the
of it.
norm.
It is shame. It's holding you
Shame.
back.
It's the hardest things. Just to pass the parts
Yeah.
of the shameless parts of it. You
Yeah.
have to be able to cross over that part. Some people go to counseling. Some people go to hard. Some people work so hard. It's because they're psychologically
Avoiding.
unstable. They try to avoid the pain, the hurt
I
that
know,
goes with.
I know. I do that sometimes when I'm trying to avoid my feelings. I'll just be working.
But I think the way to restore is to have a community really. It's need a dialogue. Everybody needs to be feeling sensitive to that victim personally, in order for them to be able to, they can relate it, relying on that someone, and then you can
Okay.
begin
So let
the
me ask.
process
So I'm going
of
to ask
the
an
healing.
interesting question because I think we kind of all know each other at least one degree of separation, right? We all kind of know each other
Of
in that
course.
way. And so I'm going to ask Manouchka that question. Is it safe for me or for even Eileen, right? So we kind of know each other, we see each other, right? For us to sit in a room together and for me to start sharing things that are very personal, very shameful, that I would not necessarily want to share, and I'm like, well, Manouchka shared it in a book. This person shared it. I should feel safe to share it with Eileen, although Eileen kind of lives in that same community that I live. Eileen's going to go back home and be like, you remember that girl? You remember how she said that girl? You know what happened to her? And then to think about that the person is going to do that. How can we feel really safe? How do you do that? Right? Because every time I talk to you, Manouchka, you are an open book. You are, no, open book is not the word. You are very inviting for people to want to talk to you and share because you have the face of no judgment. Her face is like, I feel like there's nothing you can say, Manouchka, she's going to be like, oh, she's never shocked by anything. But I think that's a gift and that allows people to feel safe. Now, how do you think, is that possible, what I just said? For us to be able to sit, and I'm sharing just because we're sharing and then feeling safe with that.
So the thing is, if you work on yourself, what other people think of you is none of your business.
Thank you. Thank you. When you work on yourself, whatever else somebody thinks, whatever somebody else thinks of you is none of your business.
It's none of your business.
That's their opinion.
It's their opinion, and they
It's their
are entitled
opinion.
to
To their
it.
opinion, yeah.
So it is okay. What you're telling me, it's okay for Eileen to say whatever she's gonna say
Yeah.
after what I said. It's okay for Beatos to go and think, because we are afraid of what people think too, right? So it's okay for me to feel however I'm gonna feel, because Beatos gonna think whatever she wants to think.
Yeah.
But in me, it's okay for me to say it's
Yeah,
none of my
so
business.
because the minute that you build the enough confidence to share, it becomes very liberating. You don't have that burden.
The burden of carrying what
It's
Beatos
lifting.
thinks.
It's the weight. The weight
What's
is gone.
inside,
weight of
eating
the
you,
secret.
right?
Okay.
Of the secrets.
And sometimes
So
I
it's
think
liberating.
the reason why we want to hold it, we want to hide it, is because we think it's our fault. It happens to us. Now you know it's not your fault. You can go ahead and share it. Whatever Erlene think about you, it's not you. It's because Erlene doesn't understand. She li pa jam passe dans
Oh, I see what
situation
you
ça,
mean.
you
So,
understand?
on voit pas qu'elle pas comprendre
Li
qu'il
pa
fait
comprendre
qu'il
qu'il fait la,
réagit comme
yeah,
ça.
la réagir comme ça. But it's not your fault. It happens
That's
to you.
true.
It happens to you. It was bad. It's not because it was your fault. Now I go ahead and explain it to you and try to make myself open and tell you what happened to me, and now you go ahead and spread it. That's your problem. It's because you don't understand. If it had happened to you, you'll never react like that.
So
You
that's what
understand?
I see.
And
Yeah.
then you're not going
I'd
to
love
let
to
that
hear
door
that.
open for that person to continue.
To
Even
judge.
You imagine, si pot kon même fin explique ou sak pase la même. right? It's a very important thing for someone to trust you with something because they
Yeah.
don't want you to elaborate about it. They don't want you to say
Yeah.
anything else. Because see, if you si wale wal di un lot moun sa, right? So koun ya moun nan va fò konfians ankon. Tout res sa pou lte dou lan, li baka
Li baka
dou
dou
li
li
ankon.
ankon.
E baga lan stil rete pou li paske na ou domaje l plus que ou fè du bien pou li paske li vle fò konfians. C'est où le fait confiance, li finalement décharger li.
And I think na façon ça tout, si on bagay comme ça passe, ou pas besoin aucune confiance donc. Ou pas besoin confiance de m'gal di Manouchka ça, li pral di l'autre monde. But I need the word to be spread. I need everybody to know what that person did to me.
So, but you have to
understand?
understand from the victim perspective.
It's not how
so
they
it's
think.
not easy. Like
It's not
that.
easy to
It's not easy like that.
Because the first person
because-
to go through is
because the person has been
choice.
traumatized, right? So then, depending on the age as well, imagine for me it's just somebody coming in and trying to do this, but imagine that young girl who spent years before age 8 having gone through full-blown sexual exploitation.
Yeah.
That's very traumatic.
Yeah.
Where was the parents?
No, because remember, everybody doesn't have the same family structure. So you can't even say where was the parent. Because it could be the parents are here because we have a fractionated family where parents are living here and their kids goes in what they call it.
College
No.
That's big kids.
No. La pension.
Yeah.
They go to boarding school.
Haiti, boarding
So it
school.
was like a similar boarding school that did that.
Okay, restoration
Yeah.
part 2.
Yeah.
Now this is great. This is great. Now we're gonna share a couple more tips because we spoke about sharing. We spoke about some counseling, coaching. What are some of the other things that you can tell us, like to finish this conversation?
So for me, first, the person has to be able to share. The person has to be able to, once you create places like this, for people to truly understand it as a community. Because if the community understand all these things, then there would be less judgment. Right? So there needs to be community education.
Community education.
So,
So you're saying community education is part of restoration?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if the community understand things better, then there'll be less judgment towards, like, let's say if it's a child who comes to the parent and says, hey, this person violated me. And then the person who's the manipulator says, oh, you don't know what he's talking about. These things happen in Haiti. Or you have kids who cannot afford, and then the parent and the teacher, the director, the school director abuse those kids. It happens in Haiti.
Yeah, of
That's
course.
pedophilia.
Yeah.
You understand? So we cannot only look at our set of family. Family is there's plurality in family.
Over.
So no, but
all
there's
these
different
things.
structure of family too. So we cannot only look at this mom and dad. You may have kids were sent to Haiti while the parents are working here in America because they didn't have the support system, which I talk about it in terms of attachment and trauma and all. Because nobody ever looked at those kids who went to Haiti, but they were born here.
Yeah.
But when I spoke with my cousin, and one of my cousins, and then she talks about her own trauma, then I thought about it. I'm like, you're right. Because when you were here, you had this set of caregiver, and you uproot this kid and send that kid to Haiti. That kid has to adjust. Imagine a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, you ask to adjust.
A stranger.
Yeah.
To them, this family member, they're like stranger.
Yeah.
So,
That's
but
trauma
none
too.
of us thought about all these things.
I absolutely love how this book has highlighted for me some things that I would not necessarily think, like you kind of want to just brush off. So I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation about things that are seemingly unimportant, but have a massive impact on us. Now, we had a long way talking about this. Where can people get the book?
It's going to be
Manouchka?
Amazon. Primary place will be Amazon and probably Barnes and Noble, but
Okay.
primarily Amazon.
When is the official release date?
To be announced.
To be announced.
This
Okay.
is a nice topic.
Yes.
Very
Can I ask
good.
Manouchka one
It's
question?
one of the
Absolutely,
topics,
absolutely.
but it's-
Aline has a
it's-
question.
I'm sorry, I haven't read the book, but
Very nice
so
topic.
for those people that are causing those harms to those children, do we address them also in the book?
So
Good point,
what,
good
what,
question.
what I did is focus with the person,
The victim?
the victim, to it's not focusing on just a molestation. It focused on just life in general. It just molestation happened to be one topic.
Okay.
I talk about homelessness. I talk about mental health. I talk about addiction. I talk about working in an environment. I talk about how when you have this, the attachment issues and all, when your parents uproot you, and then how it can create relationship issues as well. How you may not trust people because the 1 to 5 years where you're supposed to connect with an adult, but you were uprooted and sent somewhere else. So all of those questions and things, topics that we don't even consider,
Yeah.
how does it affect children?
Yeah.
It's like we don't consider if a child lost a parent, how much impactful it is to the child. So that's why I've decided to bring all those topics that we are not considering.
Absolutely. Now I think this is not a book about sexual trauma.
No.
This is a book about all
The
of the little
aspect,
things that happen to you that has an impact on you. How to acknowledge them, recognize them, and get restored from them. And that's what this book is about.
Yes.
I absolutely love this topic, Beatos. I absolutely love it. I think it's
I love it.
fantastic.
We're supposed to have another
Restoration.
continue. The
A
conversation
process,
should.
yes, a process to
continued.
achieve wholeness. But the reason why it's important, right, is because we're saying for this to work out, we have to continue having the conversation.
Yes.
We cannot just jump here today, October 14th.
Yeah.
We have that conversation and we
done.
never talk about
So,
it again.
so can I say something? When I go on TikTok, I do a lot of assessment of our virtual community. And I look at assessment, what's lacking, and also, and I've been reaching out to a lot of people from mental health field, from New York, from other states, and to create a hub on TikTok where once a week we bring like conversation about mental health issues, and from the expert perspective, not only just someone who's just saying stuff, but a psychologist who've worked for years and dealt with people. And what do you say? Because we don't have that space. So, and since I see TikTok as a huge space where you can see people from everywhere, friends, England,
Yeah.
Asian come there and talk, and at one space you can have 600, 1,000 people watching you live.
Nice.
So I think this is where professional, particularly from mental health, can use that space and for good.
So then that's
Make
where
some
we're
use
gonna
of it.
see a process to achieve wholeness.
Yeah, so
We're gonna find
not
it there.
particularly not mine, but creating a space,
community.
a community where mental health professionals are there to provide the information, at least to encourage people. I said it's okay to go for therapy. It's okay. It's in the book. I said all that is just to make you realize that, hey, I need to work on something. That's what this book is telling you.
But it's in the
To-
book.
to
Can you
work-
create that community for us here, somewhere surrounding, like we can
No,
discuss
no, no.
this
I am
topic?
working with
and-
mental health providers to create a global community, international community. So I'm working with psychologists in Haiti, psychologists who are becoming future psychologists in Haiti, 2 of them. And so they're like, I just listened to the video, a voice that says, I'm in. So when you get people from different sector of Haiti, because we are not living in Haiti, right? So we don't know the experience of Haitian in Haiti, but they do.
Yeah,
So
they
they can glean from Haiti and give recommendation for Haiti. So they can glean from France and give recommendation from France. They can glean from Canada and provide, hey, those are where you can get resources in Canada. This is where you can get resources in France. This is where you can get resources in Haiti. And here in America, because we tackle in different states, so when they speak, they can say, hey, in Florida, this is where you can get resources. In New York, this is where you can get resources because it's necessary. Because I've seen just by looking at people, whether if you're overly timid, you're not talking, there's something work you need to do.
Yeah.
Because you're hiding.
You're hiding something.
You're hiding.
It's the unmasking.
Yes.
Exactly. And then we have so many, all these subjects, everything in the book related to our community, to Haiti, from the earthquake, manifestations, homelessness, to
What about
it's like
insecurity?
Insecurity.
We
are
the basic,
the most
the basic,
traumatized
yeah, the basic
And
needs for
nation
Maslow.
in this world.
Maslow tells you need to be secure, basic,
Everything.
and they don't even get
we
that.
don't even have that.
Food.
Yeah.
You know,
Just basic security.
basic everything security.
And
None
so,
exist.
And so again,
You
but
know.
I want us to look at the spectrum, right? We're talking about this is an extreme situation, being in Haiti and even not being safe. Here, you know you're gonna jump in your car, go home, most likely nothing's gonna happen to you. But I guess what I love that what your book does, it doesn't discount people's experience throughout that spectrum.
No.
You go that far, there are people that cannot do any of that stuff. But a lot of times to us as Haitians, because we have this thing called the survival guilt, right? The people who left Haiti, you're here, your family's good, you're living here. And then you tell yourself, I should not complain. Look at what's going on back home. I should not feel this way. Look at going on back home, right? So this is it. This was a really interesting conversation. Where can we find you? Where can people stay in touch with you so that they can be ready to buy the book when it's out?
So I'm gonna post it on my website, which is bellashasha.com.
BellaShasha.com.
If they need me, they can email me at bellashashacoaching@gmail.com.
All right.
So they can find me those two ways. So the others, it's other hat I wear, so I'm not gonna give those contacts.
So Bella Shasha, follow Bella Shasha on
Yes,
Facebook.
yes, and then the
YouTube,
podcast,
the
and all,
podcast.
and also it's another venues to help people to speak their truth and their stories.
If
So,
you've
and
never
it's been-
listened
yes.
to a Bella Shasha, I think you should because
I'm a
Manouchka
fan. I'm a fan.
brings,
She knows. I'm a
she
fan.
brings an energy of calm and safety and peace, and people just open up.
Yeah.
So,
She make me kind of a little comfortable after that.
so really great. Again, Manouchka, if you want to stay in touch with her, find her on Facebook, find her on social media, Bella Shasha, Restoration of Process. I was really happy to be part of this panel. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for including me in this conversation. I feel like I learned a lot coming here, so I'm hoping that the people who listened as well learned something and got moved in some kind of way.
Yes, I mean, I plan on keeping this going in terms of creating space to talk about these things because they need to be talked about.
Yeah.
Because the way I see this recent case was handled, it speaks to
Where
what
we
is
are
necessary
and where we are.
as a community. So I will continue. I've already reached out to several admin in those women's group and asked to speak on this situation. And they are, most of them are giving me permission
Great.
to set up stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, ladies? Eline,
It was a
Bertuz?
pleasure to
Well,
be with you
I would
this
like
afternoon.
to,
That's all.
I would like to say a big thank you to Dr. Lucida Somerville. And so she's a cheerleader, and it's strangely how we just connected and we connected just like this. It's like I reach out and it wasn't the right time. I always said encounter, it's always divine. So when
I don't like that story.
no, it's divine. I never forgot how we meet. I always feel that encounter, it's always orchestrated by God. It only happens when it needs to happen. And so when sometimes people said, I should have known you 10 years ago, because I would have known more. I'm like, no. Each encounter is happen when it's supposed to happen. And that's where I'm going to leave it. And thank you very much for all your hard work and effort. It's from the bottom of my heart.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Get her book, everybody.
Ladies, thank you. It was a great panel. And then I
want
hope.
everybody to come in the back to show who was
Okay,
here.
well, let's
So
do
the
it.
team while we're live, because we have food. So
Oh, we have somebody who's like, I ain't gonna be on camera today.
But this was a beautiful panel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Belle. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
you don't have to. We're just gonna come sit down.
Mandine, you can still try to hide. You wanna just hide your little, you know, people who look good typically don't need to hide their face from camera, and you know you look good already.
Come on, more people are coming. We're gonna take a screenshot for us, please. Everybody who's watching the live, just take a few screenshots. Say hi, take a screenshot.
Hello, screenshot.
We need screenshots, please, please, please. Let people know this is something that we have to keep doing because it's for the community, it's for you guys. Because a stronger community is stronger for everyone. This is what I'm
Stronger
all about,
together.
Stronger together. Come on, let's show we inside of iSpace 2 Studios.
Hello.
Look at you.
I was in the background. The book is a beautiful book. I cannot wait to finish reading it, and I just want to say congratulations.
Thank
And you, with the panel, I love all the questions.
Thank you.
And yes, this is something that we need to talk about, the communication. And a lot of us do need restoration from a lot of childhood trauma. So congratulations, and I hope everyone read this book and get this book. And yeah.
And so here, this is all of us, and you know, we're having a party tonight.
Yes, we're having a party.
We're having a party. If y'all, if you're not on that list, it means you're not invited. Okay.
Next time you guys
Just
are
look at
invited,
us.
everybody, all this is from MANOUCHKA.
Just live vicariously.
So
through us.
everybody that didn't get to say anything, what would you like to say to MANOUCHKA? I know you guys don't, a lot of people don't want to talk.
These ladies just be looking cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, MANOUCHKA. Good luck with your book.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys grab you a copy.
Yes. Bella Chacha coaching. Hold on. Take a screenshot. Cheese. Thank you. And whoever's watching live, please take a screenshot of the screen for us because we need it for to promote MANOUCHKA's book. It's important that we do that.
Avanuale, let me take a moment to say thank you to that wonderful lady. Of course, now we are enjoying MANOUCHKA's new book. Actually, should be a bestseller.
Yes.
Moi, pour clamer le nom, bon Dieu.
Amen.
However,
Et on prie pour nous avant.
non, sérieux note. Nous voulons dire merci à Dr. Lucita pour vision. Et si nous pas de Dr. Lucita, nous pas de ça. Et nous tous voulons dire merci à Dr. Lucita pour être un pilote, monde spécialement femmes dans la communauté qui apprécie le travail que l'a fait. Nous continuons à supporter, nous n'avons j'arrête parce que le travail l'a fait, son travail pour moi-même, pour nous-mêmes, et pour nous tous.
Pour moi-même, pour vous-même et pour nous tous.
Congratulations. Good job.
For watching. Where's the bottle?
Where's the bottle? Get her
Where's the bottle? Where's the bottle? Let it come.
Celebration.
Celebration.
But where's the drink?
Let's go. We should get it prepared before.
All right.
There we go. Let's pop it. Oh, the mics.
On the flowers.
Well, no, we won't do it. Let me get it.
Dr. Gracie bought you flowers.
Let me go.
Oh, the flowers.
Thank you, Dr. Gracie.
And everyone, if you have an event like
Thank
this
you.
you want to do, please call us.
Let me pass some over there. Here we go.
This is from MANOUCHKA, from Dr. Gracie. Beautiful flowers. Let's show it to the camera. Beautiful flowers.
You were cool, that is MANOUCHKA's personality.
Yes.
People who are MANOUCHKA, they may not know. I love talking to you, MANOUCHKA.
Look
I
at the
love the
flowers.
fact that when I'm talking to you, it's never about anything, anybody, but rester, c'est capable de continuer à germer dans moi-même, et puis le fait qu'elle germe dans moi-même, la porter fruit, et l'autre monde a béni avec.
Moi-même, prochaine fois, moi, Manouchka, moi, c'est Zem, moi, laisser faire avec. Moi, dis Manouchka, pourquoi ouais, tel, pourquoi ouais, figure de c'est il le zita.
C'est la famille de Villa.
T'as mis le nom, mes amis, ça que veut bien.
In the TV. Show it in the,
Come
show
closer.
it in the camera. But make sure it doesn't
No, it's not gonna
come in the camera.
I think he's in front of the camera just like
No.
Not at all. He's just pretending.
We'll just do
He's
a
just
toast
pretending
to
to
the
be
stars.
shy.
Let's give a big round of applause to the mic director.
Yeah. Everybody get a round of applause.
The mic director.
Yes. No,
Yeah,
let's give a
pass it
big
down.
thank
Here
you
we
to
go.
the chef for the food in the back. Let's give a big thank you to my tech lady. And a big thank you to
I keep passing it.
Tell me how long
Tell me when to stop.
sisters, friends, who make all this possible. Miriam, we missed you. All the other women that we reached out to you. You're not here. We miss all of you.
You get it? No? I know she doesn't
Next
drink.
time, please be here because it's a vibe.
All right, let's talk
Manouchka.
the next bestseller. Yes.
Yes, coming out right here.
Open
New York
conversation, vulnerability,
Yes.
honest, be real.
Restoration.
Be real.
Where's my sport?
All right.
All right. It's a wrap. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thanks, ladies, for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, lady, for coming. I heard it was a long travel.
Part two.
Yes. We didn't finish the book today, so we have to have a part two.
Why do you get the first?